Government corruption has never been more prevalent or caused more harm. It's why extremism is on the rise. It's why the financial gap between the haves and have-nots has never been wider. And it's why our planet is at risk of an extinction level tragedy. That's why I need your help to keep exposing the truth about the rot on both sides of the aisle. Become a supporter or a friend of the show today by clicking on the coffee link in the description box below. Friends of the show join me on a Zoom hangout once a month, and you guys can ask me any questions you want, and I can get to know you better. But the most important reason to help is to keep the show alive. Together, we can and will save our country and our planet. Thanks in advance and enjoy the show. Everyone, welcome to the show. So Matt Gaetz may have added to the growing list of his alleged crimes. And Roger Stone appears to have implicated himself in lying to the FBI again. A video was released over the weekend. In it, Matt Gaetz was seen and heard assuring Roger Stone that Donald Trump would issue him a pardon if he was convicted. This hot mic moment took place in 2019. This was at an event in which both Gaetz and Stone were scheduled presenters. This was at one of Trump's golf courses. The conversation took place backstage, and this was shortly before Stone was to go on trial. And this was for lying. This was for Stone lying about Trump and his ties to WikiLeaks. So Stone was heard whining to Gaetz. He was whining to other people as well about how the feds were pressuring him to flip on Trump and how he knew that he was going to prison. And even Gaetz said, yeah, you don't have a defense. So evidently, there was a documentary film crew at that time that was following Stone around, and they had him wired for sound, but Gaetz had no idea. And so on this hot mic, he tells Stone, quote, "Since there are many recording devices around right now, I do not feel in a position to speak freely about the work I've already done on that subject." So he's telling Stone, yeah, I've been working on your behalf to get you a pardon in advance of you even being convicted. So witness tampering much? And Stone told Gaetz, quote, "I won't fold. That you can bet. They already tried that." And then Gaetz, obviously referring to Trump, replied, quote, "And the boss still has a very favorable view of you." Not the president, the boss. And Stone responded, quote, "He sends that message from time to time." And then Gaetz reassures him and says, quote, "He said it directly," and quote, "He knows you're," and then the last word was inaudible, but I would bet money that it was loyal. Now, here's the incriminating part for Stone. He tells Gaetz, quote, "It would have been easy to make this go away, but I couldn't live with myself." So really, what is it that Stone knows or knew that he refused to tell the Mueller investigators? And there was a ton of speculation, you guys might remember, at that time about Trump and his minions trying to influence witness testimony. And Stone's comments indicate that in some way, Trump was messaging him. He was getting his message to him that, hey, keep quiet and I'll take care of you. That is a crime. This is exactly why Trump and his allies are reaching out to January 6th committee witnesses, because they got away with it before. They believe they're untouchable, and so far they've been right. And the Washington Post pointed out that at the time of this conversation, Matt Gaetz was a member of the House Judiciary Committee. The guy is an attorney, a licensed attorney. That committee was investigating whether or not Trump had dangled pardons to keep witnesses quiet. And he's out there doing just that. So this is just another egregious example of the completely unprecedented, gross level of corruption that completely took hold in our government under Trump's regime. And that was just a portion of the damning audio. Gaetz also shared details of the Mueller report with Stone, which he was prohibited from doing because he was a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Now, the report wasn't classified, they said. It wasn't classified material, but the Department of Justice had a written agreement with the committee and its members that they could only discuss the details of the report amongst themselves with other committee members. So when reached for comment, Gaetz, of course, his office deflected. They said that the recording was made illegally. They also said he wasn't speaking on Trump's behalf when he mentioned a pardon, and that, oh, he didn't say anything that wasn't allowed under the committee rules. Basically, they tried to act as if Gaetz had done nothing wrong. But if that's true, then why did he tell Stone, I'm not comfortable talking about how I've been working on a pardon for you with camera crews around? He didn't want it recorded then because he knew that it was a problem. He knew that it was inappropriate at best, illegal at worst. Another interesting segment of the recording was when Stone brought up a photo that he and Gaetz had taken with Joel Greenberg. I've actually used it in my YouTube thumbnails. You guys have probably seen that photo. As you all know, of course, Greenberg was Gaetz's good friend, and he has since been arrested. He's taken a plea deal for a multitude of crimes, including sex trafficking of a minor, which Gaetz is also accused of paying for sex and trafficking to others, or believed to have done that. At the time of that recording, though, there were only allegations of Greenberg's misuse of public funds. Stone seemed to have known that something was coming because he told Gaetz that the picture had, quote, come back to bite us in the ass. And then Gaetz replied, quote, bite us in the ass? I'm incredibly proud of that. So, wow. Yeah, Gaetz really is as stupid as he looks. Anyway, I wish they could go back and revive the obstruction of justice charges against Trump. I don't know, with statute of limitations, I don't know how that works, if that's run out already or what, but clearly he was tampering with witnesses even back then and in regard to that investigation. So how much you got all these people running around going, oh, see, Mueller didn't find anything. Well, first of all, he did find numerous obstruction of justice instances. But how much more did he not find because Trump obstructed justice? You don't obstruct justice when you haven't committed a crime. So it's pretty obvious there were some underlying crimes there. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks so much for watching and listening. I'll let you know if I hear more. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.